Almost everyone in Israel does 2 years of military service. They have a neurodiverse autistic population just like anywhere else in the world. And they were deployed, these folks were enlisting, of course, for their 2 years of military service. And they were sort of different and what could do with them. And they built a program, it's called Battalion 9900 and Battalion 8200, where they were deploying neurodiverse soldiers in the IDF, the Israeli Defense Forces, in cybersecurity code evaluation, quality assurance, and analysis.
We've really been able to hire people that do really well here, and we have an extremely low turnover rate. There's only been, I think, one person that we hired that ended up, not working out performance-wise in 2 years. So I think for any company and industry, especially a startup, that would be an amazing turnover, but especially from, hiring from this community that has very, very high turnover, that's something that we're definitely proud of.
Thank you very much for joining us, and it's nice to meet both of you, and we're really excited to hear about this incredible work you're doing. So thank you for coming.
Yeah, so this is a fascinating idea, the idea about how to train an algorithm and using human cognition. We often hear a lot about diversity. We don't hear a lot about neurodiversity. And so how did you guys come upon this idea?
Sure. So we started Enabled Intelligence a little over 2 years ago, based on this major gap in how artificial intelligence and machine learning works, this major gap not being addressed. Machine learning and AI is the computer is thinking, right? The AI, artificial intelligence, the computer is thinking and trying to solve a problem or identify something. But human intelligence has to teach that computer, that artificial intelligence how to do it. The black box of AI, artificial intelligence, AI, and machine learning, ML, is that how the computer goes about learning, we don't know as well, right? The pedagogy, and it's not like, they would start in kindergarten and go to first grade, and then they learn basic arithmetic, and then they learned algebra. And you just sort of throw a whole bunch of data at this machine learning algorithm, and through it being the computer program, the machine learning process, parses through that data and learns from that data how to do something. So let's pick something relatively straightforward. Trying to teach a car, and you want to make a driverless or autonomous vehicle, how to detect a stop sign and know to stop. So you can hard code, see stop sign, stop, but how do you teach the car how to see a stop sign? The way that's done, the way all artificial intelligence, whether in all of its different iterations and all the big technical terms with it, what it is you give it pictures of stop signs and pictures without stop signs. And that's called the training data set, stop signs, not stop signs. And a person has to tell the computer originally which ones are the stop signs and which ones aren't. And so you give it thousands of pictures of stop signs and thousands of pictures without stop signs and say, these are stop signs, these are not stop signs. And the machine learning algorithm looks at both of them and it learns over time, I know this is a stop sign because the human told me so, and this isn't. What's the differences? What's the correlation? What it is? And over time, over thousands and thousands, often millions of images, you come out with a decision. It could be, it's octagonal shape, it's red, it's got white letters on it, the white letters look like this, and that's how it did. But that first part, the creating of the training data, is that stop sign, no stop sign, has to use humans. And a lot of AI companies focus on that machine learning software piece, like how do I build the software that will learn from it, and then starve for lack of data, training data, to teach that AI how to do something. And this is especially prevalent in the US government, for reasons I'll go into in a minute. And I previously had worked at a place called Stanford Research Institute, SRI International, a nonprofit R&D institute founded by Stanford University back in the 1940s, that does a lot of work with the US government, also commercially. They invented Siri and sold it to Apple as a natural language processing, do a lot of AI. The little yellow line, that's the first down marker in football. It's a computer vision, artificial intelligence thing. SRI invented that for different purposes and then made it for the NFL and other things. And we kept coming across this problem of, we know how to make machine learning software, but the data, the really smart data that tells it how to learn, no one's doing that picks and shovels work. It's tough work, it's repetitive work. A person has to do it. No one is doing that. It's not scalable software as a service, venture capital backed Silicon Valley model of build it once and then you just sell lots of licenses of that software. People actually have to do the work.
So where did you and Lauren meet? What do you both do? You do different things?
So I'm the CEO of the company, founder of the company, and come from a government and a business background with some technology, but I'm not a technologist. Lauren was introduced by a common friend of mine who's actually one of our board advisors, common friend of ours is one of our board advisors. And Lauren is our chief people officer and head of diversity and inclusion. So we're a very people-based business. So my first hire was, I need someone who really understands how to work with diverse folks, recruit, train, and support a very different type of workforce than most companies have. And that's what we picked Lauren.
So you're trying to train your AI to look for certain things that look like, for lack of they look like an airplane from a overhead shot. And these airplanes are different. And so when does the idea come that you're going to hire somebody with autism? Because that's a very unusual idea. It makes total sense, but where does the idea come from?
Sure. So back in my SRI days, one of the labs I led was on innovation policy, like how do you create policy at a government level to foster innovation. During that time, I found this program that the Israelis were doing, the Israeli Defense Forces. Almost everyone in Israel does 2 years of military service. They have a neurodiverse autistic population just like anywhere else in the world. And they were these folks were enlisting, of course, for their 2 years of military service, and they were sort of different. And what could do with them? And they built a program. It's called Battalion 9900 and Battalion 8200, where they were deploying neurodiverse soldiers in the IDF, the Israeli Defense Forces, in cybersecurity code evaluation, quality assurance, and analysis, because that work is going through lines and lines and lines of computer code and finding vulnerabilities, errors, gaps, problems that could lead to a cybersecurity vulnerability. You need a lot of technical proficiency. It's repetitive. It's puzzle solving. It's pattern recognition. A tremendous amount of focus and detail orientation. And it's kind of asocial, right? You're staring at a screen, right. You're looking at computer code.
Okay, but this problem is a different problem. The key problem is you have all these images, satellite photos, where you can't tell, like our eye can tell exactly what it is in a simple way, but it's a very complex problem for a computer to tell that problem. So do you think, well, okay, I've just learned this thing from Israel. I'm going to now hire a workforce that is willing to look at these pictures every day?
Yes. In short, Jesse, yes. What I saw was, I knew this data labeling problem was an issue because I kept running across it, and not just at SRI, but then I did a artificial intelligence startup called Synapse, looked at X-ray images for security, like at TSA. Mm-hmm. We did a lot of work for the government, and we couldn't get the data labeled as well. The data labeling problem is we needed a workforce that was available, technically proficient, if not excellent, detail-oriented, ability to focus. It could deal with the diversity of data and provide a diversity of thought. Would look at the data somewhat differently, find these errors, find these inconsistencies, find these differences, identify, and would sit and do it all day, right? So sitting and clicking at it on, putting boxes around airplanes on satellite images all day long, for neurotypicals, it's not our, we burn out. And we glaze over and we are fooled by context clues like, oh, there would never be a plane in the jungle, just flip on through, I don't even see it. But in the military environment, that's exactly what you're looking for. You're looking for zebras, not horses. Right? You're looking for a MiG in the jungle. So a neurodiverse population, what I took from the Israeli program is, well, data labeling is very similar to this cybersecurity code issue. I need technical proficiency, detail orientation, ability to focus, puzzle solving, pattern recognition, and an ability to think a little bit differently because we're looking for errors, we're looking for gaps, we're looking for things that the computer might miss. The neurodiverse population, and in the US, they are underemployed and highly available. So that means that they're available.
So Lauren, what were you doing before? And when you get this phone call, what are you thinking when you first get this phone call? Because, me and Priscilla have worked on diversity and inclusion for a long time. It's nobody is really thinking about it in this particular way that Peter is. So what are you thinking when you first get this phone call? Are you already working in this kind of area?
No, I wasn't working specifically within neurodiversity. I was running a program for military veterans and military spouses within the employment space. So there actually are a lot of similarities.
Trying to take their skill sets and deploy them against opportunities, that kind of idea. Okay.
Yep, exactly. So, the similarities of, there being a lot of misconceptions and a lot of issues with translating skills and kind of bridging the gap with training and, sometimes unique accommodations and support that those employees and team members might need, and really finding the right culture in a company for them to be successful. That's really the biggest thing. The stories that you hear a lot of our team members have of companies that they've worked for in the past, or just having a lot of trouble, even getting through the interview process, but ones that were able to get hired, just how long they've stayed at the companies, whether they left on their own or they were terminated because they were never set up for success there. So I had never thought about working at a startup. The previous company I worked at was a 100-year-old massive international corporation. And when I got introduced to, even before I met Peter, but got kind of presented this idea of this brand new company, the first thing that really piqued my interest was that it was a IT startup. But as Peter mentioned, the first hire that he was looking to make was a people and culture person. And, that was really the type of opportunity I was looking for, was to join an organization that was really focused around people and doing things differently. We really, kind of pride ourselves on, we never use, well, this is how it's normally done, or this is how we've always done it in other companies, or like, this could be risky, or, we do things however we think is best going to serve our team and our diverse workforce to set them up to be successful, whether it's, non-traditional or not.
So, you joined the company, you decided to join the company. I imagine Peter's got a whole bunch of people over there, who are working on, algorithms around, a certain kind of person, thinking about how this technology is going to work together, trying to work on the stack and figuring that out. And then you want to hire this whole other group of people. Now, do those two groups of people come together at some point? And is it a virtual? I saw that some of the employees are around the world, which, Peter, I wanted to ask you about, because that makes it hard to become a government contractor in the United States. But do these two groups ever meet? And is it virtual, or is the company run all over the country, or how does it work?
First of all, we don't have any international employees. We don't have anyone outside the US. And we only have one virtual employee, just because he lives in Southern Virginia and comes up back and forth and connects. Because we're designed to be primarily focused on government and public mission, and data privacy and data protection is a huge element. All of our work happens in the office. I mean, people can, someone's sick kid, we can, just like anyone post-COVID, we can do things like this and meet, but the work itself gets done in the office. And that was another thing for this specific population, or this specific need, is I needed, U.S. persons, U.S. citizens and the like, because we have cleared personnel, security clearances, classified information, and we work with either highly secure information or data. So we can do like financial services and healthcare, but also a lot of government and a lot of subject matter expertise, right? We're not doing stop signs. We're doing Russian MiG-29 in the jungle under synthetic aperture radar, or whatever it is. And just to jump ahead a little bit, but answer your question here, Jesse, we started with that people side. We weren't doing algorithm development, full stack tech development. We were like, we're going to take raw data for the government or its clients, and we're going to turn it into things that other companies or they can use to create those full stack algorithms and the like. We're the people-based orientation of turning that raw data into annotated, labeled data. So we didn't have these sort of two groups that you referenced at the beginning. It was really just the, if you will, the annotation team, that neurodiverse military veteran group. And we had some folks, we needed to have servers and email and those kind of things. But now we have grown our algorithm side and are developing AI software and doing that full stack. And those people are also in the office. It's the same group.
So the data set, I imagine a bunch of the stuff that you're talking about is actually classified. So do you have to make a separate data set to train the algorithm to do this? Like, so that you're not, because obviously you can't show anything that's a classified image to anybody. So what kind of data set do you use to train?
No, that's part of this, is we are working on real operational classified data and are showing those images. So one of the things that was going on in the government side, and I saw this at SRI in my previous companies, is because there weren't companies like us in the US, when the government's like, I need to find this, I need to have this classified operational use. I want to find, give me an algorithm that tells me if Putin's adding more wings to his dacha in Sochi, right? And so we have this classified imagery and we want to detect that. What they would do is say, okay, well, we'll go, no one that we can work with has a clearance and we can't show them our data. So who out there could learn how houses are built and say, can you find, housing reconstruction or new housing construction on open source data, unclassified data. And then we'll see if we can learn that algorithm to our classified. Doesn't work. It doesn't work.
Right.
Now, in that situation, it may have worked, whatever, but we're talking about we need to find this type. And people would think, oh, look, I can detect aircrafts because I can find 747s at Ahoy Airport. That doesn't translate to finding camouflage MiG-29 sitting somewhere in Vladivostok outside, and so the government was getting stuck all over the place with these problems because there were no people to create training sets on operational classified or sensitive information. So the reason we created this company is so we could have a cadre of US citizens with clearances who could look at that real operational data and then eliminate many of these biases and errors and inconsistencies that were going on with this transfer. That's why we created this.
So Lauren, first of all, the sensitivity with reaching out, your recruitment, how are we even saying we're looking for people? I mean, are there things you have to stay away from that are you don't want to say, we're looking for people on the spectrum? I mean, how do you even go about this process?
Also, kids with autism perform very low on certain tests and then extremely high on other tests. So how do you find somebody who's right for you?
Yeah, no, that's a great question, both Priscilla and Jesse. So we've created strategic partnerships with different organizations that have resource programming and training services for people with disabilities and people that are neurodiverse. And we have created partnerships with them to really do strategic sourcing through those programs. So of course, when we have openings could become available, we post them available to the public, but we reach out to all of our partner organizations and make sure that they know that we have openings available. We really screen and interview on a continuous basis to build that pipeline. So once we do have an opportunity to become available, we normally have a group of people that have already gone through the screening and assessment process, and then we have them ready to go. With government contracting, we never know when a new project could become available and we need to get people quickly in the door and get them training. So in terms of finding the right fit, it took us trying a few different things, but we created our own recruitment assessment that we use where we actually put the candidates through a technical project, an annotation assessment where they're going through doing some training and then doing a actual annotation project. And we kind of reverse our screening process. Instead of doing a lengthy multiple interview process and then doing an assessment at the end, which is more traditional, because we do not require really much at all in terms of a resume. We barely look at people's resumes. We do not require college degrees. We don't require previous IT experience, previous annotation experience. Really, we don't care if they've worked at all. We do look at, somebody that maybe has had long gaps in employment or, jumped around a lot. We know that those are things that especially within the neurodiverse community are likely going to be on someone's resume, and we don't pay attention to that. We don't look at really what they've done in the past. We look more at how they do on our technical assessment first and use that to look at what their potential is to be successful with us moving forward. We do a virtual interview. It really isn't even much of an interview. It's more of a conversation to talk to them about what it's like working here, to find out their interest level. The project that they do is not only for us to assess their skill level, but it's also for them to see if this is something they could see themselves doing 8 hours a day or 40 hours a week. So after a few different iterations of trying different screening processes and different assessments, we have found kind of a sweet spot that we've really been able to hire people that do really well here, and we have an extremely low turnover rate. There's only been, I think, one person that we hired that ended up not working out performance wise.
Wow.
In 2 years. So I think for any company and industry, especially a startup, that would be an amazing turnover, but especially from hiring from this community that has very, very high turnover, that's something that we're definitely proud of.
How many employees do you have?
We have about 25 people now.
So that's pretty.
Peter, is the what is the magic thing that they're identifying? Because it's not just repetition, it's that they're looking for something. What's the magic thing that they're doing that maybe I could do once, but I couldn't do 8 hours a day?
The superpower, if I will, and I can use an image as imagery as an example, but they do it with text and audio and radio frequencies and code and everything else, is the group as a whole, somewhat stereotypically, but it is quite literal. So if we say, we want you to find X, they will find X, right? I want you to find an airplane. I want you to find a MiG-29. It looks like this.
So is there a morning meeting where you go, okay, this is what we're looking for today?
So with any project when we start, our overall head of, our director of annotation analysis, 10-year staff sergeant in the Air Force, taught imagery analysis and data analysis to Air Force air personnel as well as Marines. We'll get a project, let's say, from the National Geospatial Intelligence Agency, the spy satellite folks, right? The satellite imagery folks, and say, we want to find Russian troops amassing on the Ukrainian border. Can you find things? And he creates the training program for the team that's selected to do that. And we do that training orally, in writing, with pictures, because people have different ways of learning and taking information. So we specifically structure through Lauren's work and help and guidance, how do we create that training? And he says, this is what this project is.
When you two meet and you sort of go through, well, okay, here's how we're going to build this system so that people understand what we're looking at.
At this point, Mark is, he knows what he's doing. He's really figured out the best format for training that the team needs to absorb the information, and that we do that, like Peter said, really ongoing continuous training, which is definitely a huge piece of our secret sauce, if you will, is the training that we deliver to be able to really turn our annotators into subject matter experts and get down to a much deeper level of what they're looking for and really becoming analysts. It's not just as simple as putting a box around an image, that they are really looking at this at a higher level.
So Peter, are these, let's say with the 25 people, they may come at the problem from many different perspectives, right? They may enter into it. So it's not just, here's your creative brief. You have to be, somebody's thinking of the imagery, somebody's thinking of text, somebody's thinking in numbers, correct? So in other words, they can come at this problem from multiple vantages. It seems like that's also the incredible, superpower here, that people are coming at it with different ways of looking at this problem, right? And solutions. Is that
right? Exactly right, Priscilla. And we're an integrated employer, right? So it's not 100% folks are neurodiverse. It's a mix. It's a little over 50% of our annotation workforce, a little bit higher, are folks with a disability or neurodiverse. I think a key strength that the U.S. economy and the U.S. can bring to this conversation, U.S. culture can bring to this technology development, especially to our state adversaries, China and Russia, which are centrally dominated, right? So it's diversity of thought, perspective, and analysis means you're going to have stronger AI performance, stronger technology. The technology is going to work well. If you have a monolithic or single way of thinking about things, that's not how the human brain works, and that's not how the world operates. So as a centrally commanded economy, yes, they can, we're going to take this kind of imagery and we're going to put this people and we're going to force them to look at it, right? And we want the top airplane experts in the world to look at it. The military is sitting there trying to figure out, how do I fool top military, airplane experts, right? So if you have diversity of thought and you can take it like we can handle Africa and we can handle different colored faces and we can handle different types of aircraft and we think about it, somebody thinks about it, I'm a shape recognition person, I'm a pattern recognition person. I looked at the overall environment. Why is there this weird thing here? Something what we don't even know all the things that make all the differences in the human brain, how they type. And by having that variety of analysis, the variety of thinking means that the AI that we are helping to develop, the training sets that we're helping come from that broader perspective and make a much more robust and stronger AI tool in the end. And that's been, certainly proving out in many of our capability, what we've been able to deliver and how quickly we were able to deliver to the government to an operational use case. What it was taking them years and years unsuccessfully and would have these weird sort of outlier errors or, wouldn't work in certain, we're deploying in 6 months and they don't have those errors and it's working super well.
Troop movements can look different. They don't have a set way that they
Right.
look. And, like you say, they don't want you to know exactly what they're doing, right? So do the people just have a different way of looking at them and they recognize the pattern somewhere else and then you annotate it? And then the annotation itself can be quite complex, yeah? So does the same person who finds the thing also annotate it?
Yes. We do that. We looked at a whole bunch of different options, right? Is it faster, more efficient, or more accurate if we had someone say, okay, we want to find, let's say U.S. Customs wants us to find an algorithm to detect drug runners in the Gulf of Mexico. So can we find thing that detects boats and certain types of boats? So the first thing we'll take one pass with our lower level people, and they're like, is there anything in the image at all? Or is it just open ocean, right? Is it just, there's nothing there? So clear out all of that. And then when you said, oh, there's something there, then we have another layer of person who says, oh, that's an island and that's a boat. And then another layer of person says, well, that's a Carnival cruise ship and that's a cigarette boat with, straight out of Havana, whatever. Turned out it's actually much more efficient, much more effective when they have the whole concept. Like, here's what we're trying to do. We're trying to find these types, let's annotate. And so the people who identify and classify and annotate are all the same person in each image. Now, depending on how the level of accuracy, we're doing a test data set, meaning this is how we're going to test the AI. High, this is like ground truth, right? We want to know that this is almost 100% right, because when we test the AI, this is what we're using to evaluate how good it is. And then there's the training data set. Those are different levels of QA that we put on top of the process, depending on the mission, what kind of QA we need. And we increase that level of QA and review and the like, and how many images or how much data gets QA'd to meet error rates that are necessary for that project, either set by our customer, the government, or our own internal AI purposes.
So do you test your data set against some other data set to see whether you're more efficient?
Sometimes there is a test that there's a gold standard data set. Our accuracy levels have become so high that we are evaluating the government's gold standards. They're using us to see if the gold standard should be the gold standard, or it should have been more of a gold plated or a copper standard. And can we fix it? And so we've been doing a fair amount of that. I wish I could say, empirically, or we did these double-blind studies and we know it's this part of the neurodiverse brain that's helping, and this. All we know is the result. The result is we are significantly more accurate and more precise than what had been done before. The AI are working much better in the field, in the wild. They're not as fooled by biases. They're not pulling, they're not as fooled by, they're really working. I certainly believe that a huge portion of that is the diversity of thought and mindset, and, neurodiversity is in the name of the situation. So that's yielding that, because that's just common data theory. Like, the more diverse and the more representative your data is of the actual world, the better it's going to act or perform. That's what we're seeing. I'd like to be able to say we did this double-blind set and we saw this and that. We don't know. All we know is it works.
I have two questions for you, Peter. One is, do employees work in teams? That's one thing. Or is it really the individual? And then the other thing is, when you were back at Stanford at the other company, like, what prompted you to think, I'm going to start this company, I'm going to do this work? What were you seeing? Like, we all have the example of the early Tesla that couldn't recognize the person on the bicycle walking across the street, right? And that's how I believe the woman was killed. Or is there some, the AI wasn't able to understand. What was it that you were seeing that you said, I need to bring in other ways of thinking? And, how did you come to this? That, I guess, my question.
Yeah, so first is they work in teams, but we give a lot, the way Lauren and we've structured the operating, people get a lot of flexibility in how they interact with each other. They may work in teams and talk through Slack. They may work in teams and actually talk to each other in person and physically, but they work in teams so that they can learn from each other, also so that we can show, we measure everything, how much time it takes to annotate, what the error rates are, what types of errors they are, and then funnel that back into weekly meetings with each team about, hey, here's what we're seeing, here's where we can improve, this is what's going on. And it could be edge cases that the customer didn't even know about, right? Like, what do you want us to do when there's only part of the wing of the plane in the image? Do you want us to annotate that wing? Do you want us to not annotate the wing? The customer now thought about that. There's more edge case, corner case type stuff, and they share that with each other. Hey, I saw this. How did you decide that this was it? And they learn from each other and teach each other. And that's why we work in a team-based environment. We just had to work around how they have different communication styles so they could work in a team. To your second question, there were sort of two problems that I saw, or two issues that I saw just weren't being addressed, that I thought this would work for, that I wanted to take down. And then there's just the personal interest, which is I always wanted to run my own company. I'd been CEO of other companies, but they had started by other people, or they were big companies and been started a long time ago. And I wanted to see if I could do it myself. So there's a little bit of egotism there. But the actual problem statement, it was when I was at Stanford, we would see, that's Stanford, but Stanford Research Institute, that issue I said about the operational data not being used to train the AI, and then the AI failing in the field because it had been trained on something that was open source. Case in point, the government wanted to know, hey, we collect all this cell phone information internationally from bad guys, and we want to know when they say something that we should be worried about, like Osama's coming to Houston, and how can we do that? We have thousands and thousands and thousands of hours of this. Can you create a Siri like you did, natural language processing, and detect that? And we say, give us the data to do it. SRI could handle classified data. The government would send over the data. We say, oh, we need to annotate it so we can learn. Like this is when they say bad things. And the government said, we don't have it annotated. You annotate it. And SRI would say, we're 2,200 PhDs. We're not going to annotate anything. And plus, you don't want to pay us to do it. And we would have been good at it. You do it. And the government said, we don't have anyone to do it. And so we would go learn on like something that was already easily annotated, like let's say French, right? You could pick French and like, okay, we can teach natural language processing to learn certain phrases or words in a foreign language. Great. And if that's really wonderful, if we want to order baguettes in the 16th arrondissement, but it's terrible if we want to say someone in Pashtun is saying, I have nuclear fissile material and I'm flying to Houston, right? And all these projects would get stopped. And it was the software, everyone was like, oh, I can make the software and we can make these models. And it was this want of data, and no one wanted to take on this, not ugly, but just very labor intensive people doing something repetitively and constantly. And it just kept popping up, satellite imagery, signals intelligence, all this kind of stuff. And at the other company, people just didn't want to work on it. And then there was this Israeli program I'd learned about, and there's this forgotten or underemployed community of military veterans, neurodiverse individuals. And I'd made money before, and it was like, I care about this problem set, not AI as a problem set, but this, public mission areas. And it doesn't fit the Silicon Valley typical model of what I'd worked in before, which was, okay, we're going to create a software, we're going to spend 4 or 5, raise 10, $15 million, create software, and then we can resell that software in the SaaS model many, many times and get subscriptions and then have our exit. This is a services business. Venture hates it. It's government. Venture really hates it. And you put those together, but no one was taking it on. And it was limiting somebody. How do we detect earthquakes? How do we, track hurricanes? It's not all military and intelligence. How do we look for infectious disease prevalence and potential? But it was all government information and government data. It was totally locked up and couldn't be accessed by AI for want of this workforce training data issue. And very few people wanted to take it on. And there's this underemployed population who I believe, at least the Israeli proof could do potentially this kind of work. Let's try it out. I have no background. I don't have I'm sure I have friends and family or whatever who are neurodiverse. Well, I do now know I have some family who's neurodiverse, but it wasn't like, oh, I had a brother and I always wished that there was an opportunity. There are people who do that and that care very deeply. They're great partners for us. And it wasn't like I was an AI enthusiast or my degree is, I have a master's of public policy, right? I was a Govy guy for a long time. I'm an economist. So that wasn't it. I mean, it wasn't like, oh, I really get to get in the code. I can't code. There's this major public sector need. No one's addressing it. There's this underemployed population. And if no one else wants to take advantage and build a business to do something with it, I'm more than happy to, I'll take the opportunity. There are some other elements to the business plan that make it lower risk than a typical software play, meaning people pay us to have us annotate. I don't have to create a whole bunch of a full stack of software to annotate. We just start right away, and so we can get revenue right away. But that's where it came from. There's this gap that no one wanted to take on, and that's what I wanted to take on.
This idea of upskilling the population as well, to kind of you have this population and put them to work. It's an interesting convergence, really.
Yeah.
It really gets at the point that, artificial intelligence is only as good as the annotation that goes into it. And so we hear a lot about these huge data sets, but we don't really know what's in them. What we hear a lot about are semantic search engines that can crawl all over the data and are going to find something, but it's probably not as effective as some of the strategies that you're thinking about. So do you see this need going up? And do you see, what do you think the optimum amount of people are to work there?
When we first started talking to the National Geospatial Intelligence Agency, one of the claims was a single drone flying over Baghdad for one day would take 25 full-time one-year analysts to analyze. That's one day over Baghdad. Now, conceivably, we have a lot more drones flying around and satellites flying around collecting that. One other one, they said, I remember we were talking to one of the research leads also at the NGA, to pick another example, and they said, well, if we really wanted to do this, we would need 8,000 analysts for 10 years. Data labeling, not analysts, data labeling. I'm like, well, how's 20 to start? But the need is very great. And to get to your point about, it's a sort of, it's not real Latin, but, pergamentum inuit, pergamentum exuent, right? Garbage in, garbage out is very much the case in AI. AI only learns from the data you give it.
Yeah.
And that diversity of thought, not just diversity of thought, but its other definitions, this is why early AIs and even current AIs that are trying to help with banking applications and loan, we've populated with all previous loan decisions. Here's where we approve for loans and not approve for loans in the past as a way to teach you how to learn how to approve loans. Then it's going to be biased by redlining and all the horrible racial and cultural biases that were part of our financial history as a company. With us having diverse people, and it's diverse. If you come here, you see our folks, they're diverse in almost every definition you can think of. They're going to know, hey, folks in Anacostia weren't getting loans, not because they didn't have jobs, but because of the color of their skin. And that's going to skew this. And bringing that capability to the military intelligence and sort of government construct, not just looking at the agreement, but what does this data say? How good is this training set? How diverse is it? And do we have the diversity of people to be able to look at it and analyze it? Makes better AI. And that's a driving value of this place.
Lauren, you've been doing it now for a couple of years. Does this workforce present any unique problem sets to you, or is it basically the same kind of problems you would have in a regular company? Not a regular company, but in just any company.
Yeah, I would say that it's more of the latter, honestly. But we have the advantage of building a company around this concept and around this mission. So, I think a lot of the fears or hesitations that employers might have around hiring neurodiverse individuals, and maybe even some of the things that we thought that were going to be issues, we have really not, had any significant challenges, but it's because we have built the company and our policies and our processes, the way we do our training, the way we set expectations. And, by no means have we lowered expectations, but just our culture here and what's, normal to us is that there is no normal, we really try to encourage and celebrate everyone as an individual to be their true selves. We don't want people, masking or trying to act different than how they really are. And we've really tried to build a culture where, it's not only just Peter and I and Mark and the other, leaders on the team that are accepting of this, but that everyone that we hire and all of our team members understand and appreciate the diversity within our group. And, that's something that Peter and I are also really proud of, is that how far our team members have come for a lot of them, we're their social network. So, not only do we need the work to be done in the office, but we have found that our team members like to come into the office. We celebrate everyone's birthdays together. We celebrate everyone's work anniversaries. We have holiday parties. We try to, have fun different things that we do within the office to kind of have that social outlet for them. And a few of them that have really expressed to us like how much it's helped them develop their social skills and take away some of the social anxiety that they used to have. And that we went from being remote. We started at the beginning of the COVID lockdown. So we were 100% remote. And then when we came into the office and brought everyone in person, it was like everyone was strangers. Although online, they had all, they were being social with each other. And now they're all just, it's one big happy family. We get together as a company every Monday morning and talk about the week and talk about how everyone's weekends were. And it's really cool to see everyone kind of, joking with each other. And, we have a lot of different personalities, but everyone really does, get along and respect each other. And it's a really, it's a fun place to work.
Is there like a pathway, a couple of things, just in terms of people who are listening to this? First of all, it's just a lesson for, I think, other employers to understand what is possible, right? To be expanding. And it's a different way to think about diversity there, so I think it's incredible. But two questions. Is there room for growth? Have you figured out, you have people there, only one person left, and you don't have to get into the salaries, but are they comparable to other jobs? Like, I would imagine you can make a pretty good living doing this. This is, and how you think about where you want to be in 5 or 10 years. Hopefully AI won't put you out of business. Yeah. So you'll always be, how do you think about, are you thinking about growing? Where do you want to grow? And I love what you said about the kind of the culture. I would say everybody's suffering from some social anxiety post-COVID anyway. So I think that's just a thing now that a lot of, as we know, we're reading about, a lot of companies have to deal with. Just any thoughts around those two questions?
Yeah, I'll, I guess speak to in terms of like, current path. And we have team members that have been promoted internally. One of our team members, we kind of did some restructuring of positions and created a team leader role. And he, was one of our team members, and he's very open about his story and experiences that, his last position was working at a bagel shop, and, it ended up not being the right fit for him, and he struggled with being unemployed and for a while, and then joined us and was really excelling and got promoted into a team leader role. So there's definitely opportunities to move up currently, but I'll let Peter speak to plans for growth and new opportunities as well.
So we built the company, and Lauren and I set this up at the start, that there's room for advancement. Yes. So last question first, Priscilla. We pay, everyone's a full-time employee. Everyone's got benefits, healthcare, 401 mat, what everyone's offered. It's a real job, and we're well above minimum wage for starting level people and paying. We've had folks who've been unemployed for a while. They just bought their first house for them and their families. And these are folks who, are hourly employees. It's ESOP. They have stock as well. So there's some owner, everyone now who works here is a part owner in this company. We also said from the beginning, we wanted that there be promotion potential for every person, every position. So there may be people who are not, they're not going to be management, because managing other people, interacting with them is not a skill, it's not their primary skill set, but they've become an expert in identifying Russian military aircraft or listening to radio frequencies. So we have folks who started as an annotator and now are subject matter experts in certain phenomenologies, sensor types, data capabilities, or the like. Others who are good at like transfer. Oh, I learned this from Lauren, how she analyzed it, and I can help Pete with it, and they become a team lead and can run a certain team. And all of those promotion capabilities, and then management. Hey, can you run our IT systems? Can you help with our planning and finding new customers and all this kind of stuff? But none of our positions have requirements that are outside of the ability to do the work. So we don't say, as Lauren and must have a bachelor's degree with 2 years experience doing this, must have a master's degree in data science. And if they are developing software and, building AI algorithms, then they can be a data scientist here. If they were, the top person identifying Russian military aircraft, they can be the team lead for a geospatial engineer, imagery analysis for that kind of capability. I don't care if you if you have a GED or you have a PhD. If you did the work here, so we have seen, as Lauren talked about, people are being, we've had people promoted to team lead and other area program managers, lead of QA from those positions.
That's a great thing, though. I mean, that just what you just said, if you can do the work, you can do the work, because I think we all have to rethink what is education, what is a valuable employee, what experience does one need to have. I mean, all of the kind of misconceptions, like it has to be a certain, you have to come from a certain college or whatever. All of that, I think, is, up in the air now, which I think is incredible.
Now, as an overeducated person from highly expensive college, I certainly believe that those are my wife and I were having this conversation because she works at a large nonprofit, and they were talking about removing the education requirements and all that kind of stuff from position descriptions. And I certainly have no problem with that because we do that here. But I did say there is value to those things. They just need to be viewed along with also, I'm the top MiG-29 specialist, or I can code like you can't believe. I mean, all that mixed together, but it shouldn't be a limitation or a gating item. It should be a part of the skill set.
Well, yeah, this is incredible. One last question. Is there a link, if people wanted to apply, do you only just go through your recruiters, which I'm sure you have many, or do people, are you even looking for people right now, or are you kind of at capacity?
We are always looking for people because, like I said, we could find out next week that we, win a contract that would require us to hire who knows how many people. That would be a great thing. So, we are always looking to make connections. We're always very transparent with candidates. If we have something open at the time, or if we know when, or if we don't have any idea when, we will be honest, but we like to go ahead and get the screening stuff kind of out of the way. So I do keep our data annotator position posted on our career site.
Right.
We would love for people to apply and take the assessment and see if it's something they might be interested in.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. This has been so interesting. The work you're doing obviously is important, but as a model, I think it's also really, really important, just to think how you're thinking about work and the nature of work.
Yeah.
So thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you for the time. Appreciate it.
Bye, guys.